Okay, this is for physics 1180, college physics 1, and we're going to talk about work and energy. So the first concept that we want to talk about is the work done on a system. A system that does work on a system is energy. So let's take a close look at this. The scientific definition, what it means to do work. So this equation is the net work done of a force that is moving a certain distance or displacement. We can look at this as also in magnitude without vectors, using work is equal to force times d times the cosine of the angle. And we'll talk more about what the cosine of the angle is. Notice work is not a vector, okay, because you have two vectors, a dot product of two vectors that is always equal to a scalar value, in this case work. Work done on a system by a constant force is defined to be product of the component of the force in direction of motion times the distance through which the force acts. So we'll look at this example here. We have a man who is pushing a lawnmower, and he's pushing it a certain distance, and this force is actually on an angle, okay? And so the component of this force right here, if we look, we basically have the force downward, and we have the x horizontally. So we have F, Y, and then we have f of x. So f of x is equal to f cosine theta. So this angle right here would be the angle you're going to use to calculate the work done over this distance. Another example is showing where we have some applied force of 120 newtons pushing a crate along a bearing surface, okay? But the bearing surface does have an opposite frictional force of 5 newtons, and it also tells us basically how far this box is moving along, 0.800 meters. So using the work equation for the work done, F net times the distance traveled, we have the box, the force that the box is applied force on the box minus the friction times the distance, and we get the net work done. So plugging in the numbers, this comes out to 92 joules. Units of energy is the joule. It's abbreviated as just a capital J. So here is the calculus version of the work done from 0 to R, basically depicting that a mass is moved by a force, okay, and it has a coefficient of friction, this one is 0, and a distance. This is the formal equation of the work done, where F and R are both vectors and the distance is defined by D in the second equation. Thus, as we talked earlier, work is equal to force times distance. Okay, and also work and energy are in scalars. Joules are in scalars. Unit of force is, of course, remember, is newtons. Okay, so let's look at an example. Example 1. A man pushes a 100 kilogram crate with a force of 200 newtons for a distance of 10 meters. What is the acceleration? What is the work done? Okay, so we have our FD cosine theta, that is our work done equation. And we're just going to change it around. We're going to take that force and we're going to make it equal to Newton's second law, which is mass times acceleration. So it's MAD cosine 0 degrees. Okay, so here we're going to solve for the acceleration. First thing we need to know. So we have the 200 newtons divided by 100 kilograms, and we get 2.0 meters per second squared. That is the acceleration of the man pushing the crate. Okay, and then we can find the work done by using this method. We have the mass times the acceleration times the distance traveled, which is 10 meters, and we have 2,000 joules, and that is the amount of work done that the man does. Another example, example 2. Man pushes a 100 kilogram crate with a force of 200 newtons for a distance of 10 meters at an angle of 30 degrees. What is the work done and what is the acceleration? Okay, in this particular problem, this is where we have some external force that is acting on a mass at an angle. So this is going to make the problem a little bit different. We have a 30-degree angle from the red line right here. So this is the angle we're talking about. Okay. And we're just going to use the equation, the work done equation, FD cosine theta, and we're going to plug in everything. The cosine of 30 degrees is 0.866, and we have 1,732 joules. And if we take a look at the work done for the acceleration, okay, where we're solving for A, we get 1.73 meters per second squared. Okay. Third example, a man raises a 100 kilogram mass 50 meters into the air. What is the work done? So in this particular case, we have to fight against gravity. Okay. So let's see what this is. The work done is equal to mgh. Okay, the mass times the acceleration of gravity times the height it's raised, and we have an answer of 49,000 joules. Now let's move to another subject, another equation with kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is when an object is in motion at a constant velocity. So kinetic energy is only and only related to a velocity, a constant velocity. If there is an acceleration, that is no longer just kinetic energy. It's actually the change in kinetic energy, and we'll talk about that a little further down here. For example, find the kinetic energy of a 2,000 kilogram car moving down the highway at 27 meters per second. Okay, so we have our kinetic energy equation. We just plug in the values and we get the amount of energy, 7.29 times 10 to the 5th joules. Another example is where we can use the equation and shuffle it around by using algebra and solve, in this case, for m. Find the mass of an asteroid traveling at 35,000 miles per hour, which converts to 15,643 meters per second, with a kinetic energy of 1.55 times 10 to the 13th joules. The asteroid size is 4,246 cubic meters, about 20 meters or 66 feet in diameter. This is a good sized asteroid, so we're trying to find the mass. So we actually take the kinetic energy equation and we solve for mass, okay, plug in the values, and we come back with the mass of the asteroid, 1,027,383 kilograms. And this works out to about 25% of the energy of an atom bomb, which is quite a bit of energy for something that's only a little about the size of apartment building, small apartment building. Now we're going to go on to another theorem, which is called the work energy theorem. And let's just first start to see how this is derived from the work equation. Okay, because F equals ma, then work done equals mad. We talked about this the previous slides. Okay, so this acceleration equation, which you should know, is we're going to solve for the acceleration. This is v squared minus v squared. Nod equals 2 times acceleration times displacement. So we're just using that equation and we're solving for acceleration. And then we're going to plug that into the MAD equation for A, and we get this. And then we'll just shuffle a few things around here with algebra, and we get 1/2 mv squared minus 1/2 mv sub naught squared. So we have an initial velocity and we have a final velocity. This right here, this portion, is the work energy theorem. And so we have it right here. Okay. So the change in kinetic energy is equal to the work done. This is called the work energy theorem. So we can look at this as the work energy theorem by looking at basically F times D cosine theta, or we can take a look, or we can look at it as a change in kinetic energy, which is useful. So the change in kinetic energy is this right here. And we can write it this way. And THEO just means the theorem, work energy theorem. Okay. So let's look at an example using the work energy theorem. A 2,000 kilogram car accelerates from 10 meters per second to 30 meters per second in 5 seconds. They want us to first ask, what is the work done on the car? What is the exertion force at acceleration? And how far does the car travel in this time? Okay, so let's use our work energy theorem, and we just need to plug the numbers in. We have an acceleration from a velocity 1, or initial velocity, to a final velocity. We plug that in, we square them. We have a mass of 2,000 kilogram cars, and we get our answer of 8 times 10 to the 5th joules. What is the exertion force at acceleration? So there has to be some force to cause the acceleration. First, find the acceleration. So we can find the acceleration because we know the final velocity, the initial velocity, and we know the time frame that this happens in. Okay, and so we're able to find the acceleration. And this is a positive acceleration. Then we can solve by using Newton's second law, F equals ma, the exertion force, 2,000 kilograms times the acceleration, and we get the exertion force of 8,000 newtons. How far does the car travel in this time? Okay, well, we can find it by using this equation here because it does have a D in here, and all the energy that is being used for this distance right here. And so solving for D, we get 100 meters. We can check it by using an acceleration equation, v squared minus v squared naught divided by 2 times the acceleration, and we check it and we get the same answer. So it's just a way to check your work using a different equation.